This episode starts out with Applejack and Big Mac talking. Apparently Big Mac hurt himself, so Applejack takes it upon herself to harvest the whole orchard all by herself, because apparently it's Applebuck season, where the Apple family takes it upon themselves to harvest their entire crop. No, I don't know what makes it Applebuck season, since Applejack is harvesting apples in pretty much every single episode. Meanwhile, there's a stampede of raging cattle charging straight for Ponyville. Luckily, Applejack hears it and comes to save the day, steering the cattle away from the town. And for some reason, the cows can talk.
Oh my! Begging your pardon, Applejack, but Muriella here saw one of those nasty snakes.
The whole town decides to throw Applejack a party for her heroism, which for some reason takes a week to set up. And yes, it is a week. It was mentioned in passing. A continuous problem with this show is that they don't know how to use transitions. Seriously, as far as I can tell, Lesson 0 is the only episode that uses them. Also, no one has seen Applejack, the guest of honor, all week. Then again, this is Applejack we're talking about. She could be right behind me, and I'd probably never notice. At this party, Twilight tries to give a speech, but is repeatedly interrupted by Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy, telling everyone how helpful that Applejack is, and how she's going to help them with some specific task later in the episode. Speaking of Applejack, she arrives late to the party and is looking noticeably...
I sure do look funny.
Or not so noticeably, since only Twilight is the one to detect a change in Applejack's demeanor. By the way, I love this scene. And then she awkwardly drags her trophy home. Twilight decides to check up on Applejack and for some reason starts teleporting every 10 feet. I don't know exactly your limits, Twilight, but I'm pretty sure that that's a waste of magic. Twilight learns that Applejack is harvesting the field all alone since Big Mac hurt himself, and that Applejack is way too stubborn to accept help. Which is weird since the last episode started with Twilight helping Applejack. You know what, I'm gonna chalk that up to the sleep deprivation. We cut to Rainbow Dash. She wants Applejack to help launch her into the air off of a catapult. This is going to be fun. Crash, crash, angry face. Rainbow gets launched to the moon. Or to Twilight's house. That alerts Twilight to try to get Applejack to accept some help once again. It's pretty much the same thing. Twilight tries to get through Applejack's pride and she fails. The only thing that mixes it up is that Applejack hits her head and can barely hear anything. So they spend this conversation shouting. Now Applejack goes to help Pinkie Pie bake some muffins. Since Applejack is so out of it, she thinks that the recipe calls for soda, potato chips, lemon juice, and earthworms. And Pinkie Pie promised free samples to the whole town. This is gonna be a riot. Oh man, here it comes. That's not funny. That's not funny at all. For the third time, Twilight checks on Applejack, who is practically collapsing from exhaustion. Twilight tries to help Applejack says no, and this scene goes nowhere. The only difference is that Applejack is upside down. Oh, and ponies are apparently racist against mules. The last pony to need help in this episode is Fluttershy, because the writers didn't know what to do with Rarity yet. She needs help rounding up the rabbits to take a census. Long story short, Applejack and her dog Winona spook them and turn this episode into the Night of the Lepus.
The horror! The horror! It was awful! A disaster! A horrible, horrible disaster!
Come on guys, it wasn't that bad. Also, I'm not sure if it's intentional, but some clips were reused from the stampede from the beginning of the episode. The rabbits pretty much destroy all of the gardens in town, prompting Twilight to check on Applejack one final time. Twilight tells Applejack she needs help, Applejack refuses, but this time, the twist is that she's actually finished one half of the orchard. Finally, she swallows her pride and accepts her friend's help. We learn that if someone offers you help, you should take it, or else something like this might happen. Applebuck season. Finally, a good episode. It's almost great, but there are a few things holding it back. Amy Keating-Rogers, the writer of this episode, kept the segments of Applejack screwing up fresh by having her screw up a different task each time. But the parts with Twilight are way too repetitive. Oh, and there's a way to do slapstick correctly, and a way to do it not so correctly. I don't want to see sick ponies. Maybe played for drama, but definitely not played for laughs. Otherwise, Applebuck season is solid. The humor that doesn't make me cringe is pretty good. There are plenty of good facial expressions from the characters. Everyone remembers Dash's
Gonna be so awesome!
face, and her angry face is pretty good too. So, Applebuck season gets a silver. Keep the sick ponies out of it, keep the other humor, you'll eventually get the gold.
Are you saying my mouth is making promises my legs can't keep?
Good night, everybody.